Have you ever wondered about the origin of the wedding ring? The film takes us back to the Stone Age, where we see a man returning to his cave with flowers for his wife. As they sit together, he makes her a ring from the flowers and places it on her hand, symbolizing a bond that will last forever. From this moment, the idea of the wedding ring, which we still see today, was born. Jumping to the present, we meet Lucy, a failed actress who became a successful matchmaker. Lucy is beautiful and well-groomed, which helped her become one of the most famous experts in marital relations due to her skill in finding the right partner for many people in the city. Lucy focuses her mission on matching men and women from the elite class. For her, compatibility between two people is a science with its own laws. On a typical workday, Lucy is leaving her home when she spots a man who is clearly admiring her. She shrewdly understands he is single, calls out to him, and asks if he's looking for his dream girl, offering to help him find her regardless of his standards. She introduces herself as working for the biggest marriage company in the city and hands him her card, telling him to call her anytime. Lucy calls her client James to check on his date with Sophie from the day before, asking for his opinion and if he'll see her again. She informs him that Sophie had initially agreed to be with him. To her surprise, James asks her to cancel his subscription. Lucy asks for the reason. James reveals that he asked to meet a 30-year-old woman, but she made him meet a 40-year-old. Furthermore, she was heavy-set and he wanted someone slim. Lucy confronts him, stating she doesn't operate that way, and expresses her shock that he only cares about appearances. James gets annoyed and ends the call. Later, Lucy meets Sophie, who is delighted with her meeting with James, finding him suitable and handsome. When Sophie asks for his feedback, Lucy struggles to tell her the truth without hurting her feelings. She is forced to lie, telling Sophie that James liked her but didn't feel love. Sophie is upset and blames Lucy for matching her with someone incompatible. Lucy explains that while she can choose the right criteria and match people, she can't control the emotion of love. Sophie reveals she's been paying Lucy's company for 2 years and still hasn't found a partner. Lucy promises to find her a good match soon, guaranteeing compatibility and marriage. Lucy arrives at the company to find her boss, Violet, hosting a special celebration for her. 2 of Lucy's clients, whom she successfully matched, are officially engaged and weeks away from their wedding. After the party, Lucy gives a speech, telling her colleagues that their job is to fulfill client wishes, especially women, with whom she deeply empathizes. After the celebration, a colleague asks about Sophie, who was persuaded with difficulty to renew her contract. Lucy admits she can't find a match for Sophie because Sophie is lacking many things to be considered special. This bothers Lucy because Sophie has become more than just a client. She's a close friend. The current issue is Sophie wants a man at least 180 centimeters tall. Her colleague says this is a common request, as women generally prefer tall men. She adds that new surgeries can increase height by up to 15 centimeters. Despite the cost, this procedure increases the probability of a successful relationship. The colleague changes the subject, urging Lucy, the company's best, to also get involved in a relationship. Lucy replies that she will either marry an extremely rich man or remain single until she dies. Days later, Lucy attends the wedding of Peter and Charlotte, the clients she matched. There, Lucy talks with the guests who know she's responsible for the marriage. Lucy indirectly promotes her services, stating that choosing a life partner is up to the individual, but if they spend some money and hire her, they will find the right person quickly. Harry, the groom's brother, who has been watching Lucy speak, is impressed by her style. A bridesmaid approaches Lucy, telling her that Charlotte is locked in her room and asks Lucy to speak with her. Lucy finds Charlotte lying on the bed and crying. Lucy speaks calmly, and Charlotte voices superficial, unconvincing concerns that the marriage feels like a transaction, she has made her parents spend a lot on the wedding, and she is second-guessing her decision. Lucy realizes Charlotte does not want to go through with the wedding, and that there is another reason. She asks Charlotte to be honest, promising secrecy, and offering support if she cancels the wedding. Charlotte reveals she fears her sister, who is jealous because Charlotte is marrying a successful, wealthier man, will fight with her husband and separate. Charlotte believes this would ruin her sister's life. Lucy reassures her that she is a very sensitive person, but points out that before the engagement, she was not valued by her family. But now she is important, and everyone will focus on her and treat her better. Convinced, Charlotte hugs Lucy and decides to go ahead with the marriage. The wedding proceeds successfully. Lucy sits at the single table, and Harry joins her. Lucy, knowing he's the groom's brother, asks why he is at the single table. He confirms he is single, but his mother wants him married as soon as possible. She asks about his job, and he says he works in securities. Harry expresses admiration for her intelligence in her job, saying he overheard her speaking to guests and was impressed that she capitalizes on every opportunity to find clients. He asks if she is happy with her job. Lucy shocks him, saying her job is very difficult due to the struggle of reconciling the choices of men and women who want to marry. She feels getting married doesn't need all this complication, but the absence of love makes it hard. She tells him he's very suitable for any woman because he possesses many qualities women constantly look for: tall, rich, handsome, and young. Harry smiles, realizing Lucy is trying to sign him up. He confesses that this is why he sat next to her. Harry asks Lucy what she would like to drink. Before she can answer, her favorite drink is placed on the table. She discovers her ex-boyfriend, John, is serving it, as he is working as a waiter at the party. They greet each other, not having seen each other in a long time.
During dinner, Lucy looks for John and finds him. John expresses surprise that she is working at a marriage agency and asks her what makes two people compatible. Lucy tells him she deals only with the elite class, and the most important factors for them are a prominent family and money. Everything else is just a supporting factor. John asks if they could be compatible now. Lucy pauses, then says they might be. She asks about his acting career. He admits he is still a struggling actor, acting in an obscure theater and working for a wedding catering company. John appears upset about his lack of success. Lucy reassures him that at least he is trying and tells him she did the same when she failed at acting, but she got lucky dealing with the rich and the elite. As they finish talking, John offers to drive her home after the party, and she accepts.
Lucy returns to the party to give her card to Harry before leaving. Harry takes the opportunity to ask her to dance. Lucy agrees, seeing him as a potential client and a golden opportunity. Harry tells her he intends to call her, but not for business. Lucy understands he wants to get closer, but she tells him she's not the type he can date. Her primary condition for marriage is wealth, as she believes money is everything, and with money, there are no life problems. However, her words do not stop Harry from flirting, and he offers to take her home. She tells him someone else is driving her. At that moment, John arrives, sees her dancing with Harry, and realizes there is something between them, but he stays silent.
After the party, Lucy gets into the car with John. John tells her he finally bought a car, so what happened last time they were together wouldn't be repeated. They both remember the moment they broke up. They were going to dinner at an expensive restaurant for their anniversary, but they were late because John refused to pay the high parking fee. Lucy offered to pay to keep the reservation, but John refused, which angered her because they would lose the table and pay a fine. John became upset, saying he never liked the idea of the expensive dinner. He tries to save money because he is poor. He reminds her that he rented a car and paid a lot of money when they could have taken a taxi and saved the cash. Lucy gets out of the car, leaves him, and walks away. John stops her and asks her to come back, but Lucy shocks him, saying she decided to break up because he is poor and has no money.
They snap out of their memories. Lucy asks John about his life now. John says he still lives in the same apartment from when they were dating, but he now has housemates as he rented the other rooms. When they arrive at her place, Lucy invites John in to continue the evening, but he refuses, saying the time isn't right. She bids him farewell and asks him to invite her to his play, and he agrees. The next day, Lucy returns to her work routine and meets with new clients. Each one lists bizarre criteria for their life partner, and none are willing to compromise.
Lucy is forced to keep smiling, even though she's confused about whether she can fulfill their demands. Amidst all this, Lucy doesn't forget to find a match for Sophie. She successfully convinces a man named Mark to meet Sophie and get to know her, hoping they will like each other and start a relationship. Finally, Lucy decides to change her routine and agrees to go out with Harry. She is impressed by the expensive places they visit. Lucy decides to be honest with Harry, telling him she doesn't intend to be with him long term. He asks if there are any flaws in his personality, but she denies it. He asks her to give herself a chance. Perhaps she will change her mind, and she agrees. They continue dating for a while. One day, Harry surprises her with a large bouquet of roses. On that day, Lucy opens up to Harry, confessing she is starting to like him because of his calm personality and good looks, and because he doesn't care about the cost of the bills he pays. She tells him this is the problem, because it proves he was born rich and lives a luxurious life. She sees him as an ideal choice for any woman considering marriage, but she feels she is unsuitable for him because she is not of his social class, is older than him, is poor, and has many debts. She insists it is illogical for him to date her when he could be with better women. Harry tells her he is looking for a special woman who understands married life, and all he wants is a successful and stable marriage. He admits he wants to be with her. Lucy can't refuse, so he takes her to his apartment to spend the rest of the evening.
While Lucy is enjoying her life, John calls her. She doesn't answer because she is busy. He leaves her a message that his play is starting next week and he would be happy if she came to see it. Lucy wakes up and greets Harry, who gives her the apartment keys and leaves for work. Lucy calls Sophie to ask about her meeting with Mark, but Sophie doesn't answer. Lucy calls Mark, who tells her he enjoyed the meeting and hopes to repeat it. He sees Sophie as the woman he is looking for and confirms they were compatible. Mark asks for Sophie's opinion of him. Lucy is happy that she finally matched Sophie with a suitable person and promises to talk to her and call him back. After ending the call, Lucy hears John's message and his invitation to his play. But when she gets to work, she is surprised that Violet wants to speak with her. Lucy is shocked when Violet informs her that Mark assaulted Sophie while they were together. She reveals that Sophie's lawyer called and threatened to sue the company. Lucy asks to speak to Sophie, but Violet refuses. Violet justifies her stance, saying she is not responsible for the client's actions, and her job is only to match people, adding that the accusations are directed at the company, not Lucy personally. Lucy asks if this has happened before. Violet tells her it's the third time, but it's normal in their line of work because controlling client behavior is beyond their control. Lucy leaves Violet's office upset, feeling guilty for what happened to Sophie. She goes to the bathroom and reviews Mark's file while crying, thinking she might have missed some information about his behavior. However, she is surprised that nothing in his information indicates such a behavior. Lucy finishes work and meets Harry. They go together to attend John's play. After the show, John tries to get their feedback. Harry expresses his admiration for John's performance, especially since acting is difficult, but John performed his role professionally. John is happy and invites them for a drink at a bar. At the bar, John talks to Lucy privately. He notices she is upset. Lucy is happy that John still understands her and knows her well, unlike Harry, who didn't notice her mood. When John finds out Lucy is upset because of her work, he tries to comfort her. He asks if she will marry Harry since he is rich and has a lot of money. Lucy realizes John is hinting that she is still materialistic and loves money. She gets angry at him, leaves, and walks away. The next day, Lucy meets new clients, but her perspective has changed this time. She sees them demanding exaggerated things, as if they are special and no one would refuse to marry them. Lucy seems tired of the idea of fulfilling clients' demands and finding a suitable person for each one. She decides to do the exact opposite and confronts them with the truth. If they were truly special, why haven't they married yet? She advises them that their life partner doesn't have to be perfect, so they aren't surprised by lies and suffer a devastating shock. Because of Lucy's words, Violet summons her to her office. She tells her that several clients have canceled their subscriptions and posted negative comments online, calling the company liars and deceivers. Lucy responds, confirming they do lie to clients. Violet understands that Lucy is still affected by what happened to Sophie and decides to give her a vacation.
Lucy tells her that if she takes a vacation, she might not come back. Violet replies with a calm smile, assuring her she will return because she loves her job. Before Lucy can respond, her colleagues interrupt them to celebrate a successful match by one of the employees. Lucy refuses to celebrate and leaves.
The first thing Lucy does on her vacation is try to meet Sophie to apologize, but Sophie refuses to take her calls. Lucy checks Sophie's Instagram account and notices she always takes photos in front of a specific shop. She decides to go to the shop and waits for her there. When she sees her, she asks to talk. However, the hurt Sophie yells at her and blames her, saying she trusted her as a friend, but Lucy handed her over to anyone to get rid of her, viewing Sophie as inferior goods with no market value. Lucy tries to explain that it's not like that, but Sophie doesn't believe her and walks away. Lucy returns home, unable to process what happened and terrified of the idea that she might have caused someone to be assaulted. She has no one to talk to but John, so she calls him and tells him what happened. John consoles and calms her down, assuring her that she cannot predict her client's behavior and that it is not her fault that a client lied to achieve his purpose. John keeps talking to Lucy until she calms down and she ends the call. In the evening, Lucy goes to Harry's apartment and packs her bag for their week-long trip. She discovers that Harry has a wedding ring hidden in his suitcase. Lucy gets nervous and stays awake all night thinking about what to do when Harry proposes. By chance, she notices that Harry had surgery on his leg to increase his height. Lucy decides to speak with him honestly.
When Harry finds out she discovered the surgery, he tells her he is investing in his body to be desirable to women. He says that when he was short, he lacked confidence, but now he is an ideal person and can date any woman, proven by the fact that she herself agreed to date him. Lucy tells him that although she found in him everything according to her criteria, she couldn't love him, and she is sure she is not the right woman for him. He asks if it's because of the surgery. Lucy denies this, emphasizing that the important thing is to have a loving relationship, which unfortunately didn't happen. This breaks Harry's heart, but he understands her position. The next day, Lucy gathers her belongings and goes to John's apartment. John cannot let her in because of the mess, so he goes down to meet her. She tells him about her breakup with Harry. The problem is that she rented out her apartment for the week-long trip, so she has nowhere to stay. John suggests they take a tour of the city and then stay in a hotel. He tells her he will pay because he just got paid for the play and feels rich. Lucy agrees and is happy riding in the car with him, just like before.
On the way, they see a car from John's catering company and realize it is heading to a wedding reception. They decide to follow the car to see the party. They are surprised by the simplicity of the reception, but everyone is happy. Lucy focuses on the bride and groom, believing their happiness won't last long. She predicts that once married, they will start fighting over the burdens of life, and the end will be separation. John realizes Lucy has become very pessimistic about commitment, but he remains silent. In the evening, they change their clothes and sneak into the party as if they were invited. They dance together. Lucy tries to get close to John, but he pulls away. He asks if she is trying to forget Harry through him, and reminds her that poverty was the reason their relationship ended. He confirms he is still poor, and his situation hasn't changed, yet he still loves her and wants to marry her. He says all he wants is to be with her until his last day, but he is terrified of going back to her only for her to leave him again, because he won't be able to give her the life she dreams of. Lucy is surprised by his words and tells him that this means he hates her, not loves her. She confesses that she is indeed materialistic and loves money, and anyone in his place would hate her and wouldn't consider marrying her. Lucy leaves him, crying.
Just then, Sophie calls Lucy, terrified and crying. She tells her that Mark is knocking on her apartment door and wants her to open it. Sophie describes Mark as drunk and out of control. She informs Lucy that she called the police, but they said they couldn't intervene unless Mark broke into the apartment. Sophie is scared and doesn't know what to do. Lucy takes John and rushes to Sophie's apartment. When they arrive, Mark has left. Lucy goes in to talk to Sophie and calm her down.
Sophie thanks her for her help. Lucy hugs her and assures her she is her friend. She tells Sophie she was going to quit her job, but she decided to stay until she found her a suitable person to compensate for the mistake that happened. Sophie laughs and asks her to be careful next time. Lucy reassures her and promises she will find her the right person.
The next day, Lucy leaves Sophie's apartment and finds John asleep outside waiting for her. She reassures him about Sophie, saying she is fine, and that Lucy advised her to take legal action against Mark so he can't approach her again. Lucy thanks him for supporting and helping her. John tells her he has changed his mind and agrees to get back together. He promises to work day and night to provide her with a life she deserves. But Lucy surprises him and tells him she only wants to be with him and nothing else. After some time, Lucy talks to Violet on the phone, checking on Sophie. We learn that Lucy found Sophie a suitable partner and they are now in a relationship. Lucy is happy to know that Sophie is successful in her life with her new partner. Furthermore, Lucy also helped Harry match with the right woman for him. Because of what she has accomplished, Violet decides to promote Lucy and increase her salary. At that moment, John arrives, turns the rose he is holding into a ring, and asks Lucy to marry him. Lucy accepts without hesitation, having realized that the value of emotional connection and feelings is much greater than any amount of money.